Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to Free, Episode 8. So yeah, after last week's episode, episodes, we did two last time, um, we've got a big twist that I didn't see coming. So, Haru lost. In the first race of this tournament, the first round against, Reen and all the others, but Reen's the only one that really matters. Reen won. Haru got second, but apparently that wasn't good enough, and he got dropped from the rest of the rounds. I still don't fully know why or how that happened, but okay. um, but Reen won, and he said to Haru afterwards, "This means we never have to get in the water together again or race again or something like that." Basically, it was him acknowledging that I beat you. I finally accomplished my goal. We can go our own separate ways now. And this all surprised me because, as I said, I thought the entire thing with Reen winning, considering how big of a deal it was, would have been saved for the end of this season. There's 3 seasons and I think a movie as well. So I definitely thought that they would have waited for that. But instead, they really just got to it, and I'm really surprised. Not in a bad way, though. I think it leads to some interesting ideas, as well as shifts the focus to something that I do think is more important: Reen and Haru's relationship. I definitely think that's going to be more the focus now. As I talked about this last time too, I think that now that they've gotten to this point, they can focus on rebuilding that relationship. Because these two used to be super close. So I definitely think that's where it's going to be headed. Especially because I have seen clips and screenshots in the past and all of Reen smiling and laughing and everything with the others. With those from Iwatobi. So I do think that they're going to mend the relationship. The only question is, will it be fully mended by the end of this season? I don't know. Yeah, I'm very interested, though, because that is and has been a main focus of this series so far. Reen and his relationship with Haru. Um, Him winning this wasn't really the point. Like, yeah, he won. And it's surprising because you thought Haru would go on much further. But the point of this is more about these two and how the relationship has changed and how it can change again. And I'm very excited to see that. I am very, very excited to see what they do with that. Um, but yeah, we're going to continue on. We've still got the relay and stuff. And I'm interested to see what else is going to happen with our other characters too. Because, yeah, Haru and Reen obviously going to be the main focus, but I do want to see other characters and how they're handling things, how they're interacting, all of that. Plus, I want to see like their other events and stuff besides just the relay, because Ray, for example, is going to be also in the butterfly stroke, the butterfly stroke. No, I don't want to. I don't know if it's a competition, but you know what I mean. That part of the tournament. Um, and the others will be in theirs, and I want to see like how they do and what goes on with that. Plus, obviously, to still see how Miss A and Go react to everything. I'm really, really enjoying this, though. Like, as I believe I mentioned it last time, how it's, and I've been mentioning it, how this show has just continued to surprise me and really just hook me in. It's a great show. And I really did, admittedly, I did not expect it to be. Um, but I think that's actually part of what makes it so great. Because on the surface level, when you're just looking at it like from the outside, yeah, it looks like your everyday, ordinary sports anime that is just kind of bland and basic and not really that interesting. But when you actually watch it, it's like you fall into that trap and it's like, wait, what? This is actually really good? It's like this is not just bland and generic and boring. It actually has character. It actually has depth. It actually depth. Uh, wow. It actually has a lot more to it that makes it stand out. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited to see where they take it with the end of this season. Um, because there's only a few more episodes after this, like four, I think four total. Because I think there's 12 episodes. Is it 12 or 13? But then again, we have two more seasons and a movie. And as I said last time, I don't yet know if I'm going to wait to react to season two or if I'm just going to go straight into it. It's going to depend on how this season ends and how I'm feeling about the show at that point, if I feel like I really just want to watch more or not. Um, we'll see, but I'm really excited nonetheless. We are only doing one episode this week instead of two again. Honestly, we only did two last week because we dropped our other show because we dropped Milo Murphy's Law, and I wanted to give you two episodes to kind of make up for that. We're probably still just gonna keep it to one episode for most of the time. Um, I might do two episodes, maybe for the finale of this season, and then I don't know if we're going forward with the future. But yeah, we're just gonna have to take it as it goes, basically. Um, we are starting a new show this week to join it though, taking Milo Murphy's place. So if you haven't seen that, check that out as well. Well, technically, we're continuing a show I've reacted to before with DuckTales 2017. Please check that out if you haven't, if you're interested. And so with that taking the spot, we're also going to not be able to do two episodes all the time anyway. But yeah, I hope you enjoy that as well. Either way, we're going to get into this and yeah, see where it takes us. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So I think my theory, I guess you could call it, was confirmed with this episode. It's much more about, at this point, the relationship between Rin and Haru than it is about who wins, who loses, what they do, etc., etc. So let's talk about that. So both of them are thinking about things after their race, after Rin's win. Haru is upset, visibly shaken by everything. And it's very clear that what Rin said about never having to race against him again and all, it affected him. And I think that's what this was about. I think that he wanted to swim with Rin. And definitely leads to the entire fact that people ship them. Because so much of his feelings on this, so much of his reason for doing this was to race with Rin, and the same goes vice versa. Much of Rin's entire reason for doing this at this point was that. I mean, yes, his main goal is to one day swim in the Olympics, but his reasoning for all of this has been to beat Haru at this point. That was his current goal. And he achieved it. But after meeting with the others in the back and everything, he even starts to think about things. To think about how things used to be and how they are now. And we see both him and Haru questioning it and just really meditating on everything. Then we get to the relay part. So I thought that they were already signed up for the relay, but I guess I either missed or somehow it just completely skipped my mind that Haru was against it, and they didn't sign up for it because of that. I thought that they had signed up for it because they had been talking about it before and everything. But we find out that Go had signed them up for it, kind of against their knowledge. Um, and so they're trying to get Haru, they want to get Haru to agree to it and just go for it, to actually do something with it. Why not? It's another chance. They're given this opportunity, so go for it, basically. And they try to get to Reen. They race him home and end up beating him there because he goes to the pool and everything. Um, and they make this big heartfelt plead with him over the phone before realizing he left his phone there. When he gets back, Makoto's the only one left there, and he hears the message and agrees to do it. Because he's starting to realize the real reason for all of this. He's been so stuck in this idea for so long of swimming free, just doing this just to do it. But I think he's starting to come to terms with the idea that he wants to do this specifically with others, and he wants to succeed deep down. And I don't think that he uh, is like not wanting to swim freely still. I definitely still think freestyle is his thing and that he wants to do that. But he's acknowledging that he also does want to compete. That he does want to compete specifically with his friends, with these people who care for him and who he cares about. Especially after the entire thing with Makoto in a few episodes ago. Um, with those two episodes focusing on Makoto's fear of the ocean and everything, and we saw in those episodes how horrified Haru got when Makoto and Rei were having trouble at sea and stuff. We saw how seriously he was taking that and how scared for them he was, especially for Makoto, who again is like his lifelong friend. He's starting to really come to terms with and realize that he wants more. That it's not just completely swimming free that he wants. That he wants to swim free with others and even compete. And I think that's great. It's character growth. It's development. It's well done. And I like that. I really do. And I like how we see Reen in this episode acknowledging everyone. He acknowledges their skill, their grace in the water, except for Ray, who is like, you call that a butterfly stroke? Who is this newbie? Why are they letting an amateur swim with them? Which is hilarious. But it's true. It's true. He is new to this. And although he found a style that works for him, he's not the most graceful with it. He's not the best with it. And I think that that might be a way in for Reen. I've been wondering how if Reen is going to integrate himself into the group, because I mean he's not going to like join Iwatobi, but be like part of their friend group and all. I was wondering how is it going to happen? Because as I mentioned in the pre-thoughts, I have seen clips and images and stuff from the show where they are all together, the Iwatobi Club and Reen. And I've wondered, like, how is it going to get to that point? Maybe that's going to be part of the in. Maybe part of how Reen gets in on this is he's going to use that as an excuse. Like, oh, I have to help this newbie get up to par. Something like that. It kind of plays it in a tsundere kind of fashion. I think that would work. And eventually he starts laughing and having fun with the group as well. That could end up working. And I think that would be a fantastic way to introduce things. Because again, every other member of the group, he acknowledged in a very positive way. Nagisa, Makoto, obviously, Haru, he acknowledged how good they are. How just great their form is, how graceful they are when they move in the water. Ray is notably different, though. It was notable what he was saying about Ray. So I'm thinking that might be a way for him to come into the group. And I'm hoping it is. And not just because Ray's my favorite character, and that would be fantastic for him to be the catalyst for that. Um, but no, I think that would actually work well because it would be a legitimate reason. It wouldn't feel out of nowhere. It wouldn't feel forced. It would feel like something that would actually make sense, especially with how seriously Reen takes this. Um, this is that big of a deal for him. But yeah, the emotions of the characters were very high in this episode, and I even teared up at a couple points. Um, there was definitely a lot of emotion, a lot of depth with our characters and their reactions to all of this, how they handled all of this. And now they're in the qualifying round for the relay, and we can see that they're doing the best that they can. And I remember how in the past episode I had mentioned like, oh, it's probably going to end right before Haru starts or something like that, but it didn't, and it was like, oh, okay. But this time that's right when it ends, right when Haru gets started on his part of the relay. And I think that I'm actually glad that they waited on that to do that kind of cliffhanger ending for this. I think it worked more. I think it worked better to do it here because of the fact that Haru lost. Doing it before, right before Haru loses, I don't think it would work as well. It would feel a little more cheap and feel like it was just, how do I put it? Like it was hyping it up too much. Let's put it that way. By holding it off and waiting for this, waiting until after the loss, after their feelings towards the loss and everything starts building up, and now we have this relay, this one last shot. After Haru had this big, like, harsh, depressive moment where he's really starting to question things. And he finally agrees to a relay, which he did not agree to before. Having it be here and having it happen while Reen is watching and analyzing everybody in the club's swim styles, I think that's important. To see how Reen is reacting as Haru is jumping into the water and shit, it's like this is what they needed to do. It adds more depth and emotion to the cliffhanger. It makes it mean more to have it end at that point. And hell, I would not be surprised if the next episode started after the relay qualifier. Like, didn't even show the rest of Haru competing in it. It just like goes to like afterwards and they're like they qualified or something. Because I don't think it needs to show anymore. I think they got the point across. Reen looks up to Haru greatly. He, in a way, idolizes him. And that's why he's become so harsh towards him. That's why he's become so antagonistic in his attitude towards him. Because of that loss he had suffered before, after everything, after he had put forth that big goal to be in the Olympics, after all of that training he did in Australia. Having lost and feeling completely just ruined by it, it hurt him. And he's always acknowledged Haru's talent. He's looked up to it. That's why he wanted to win. Because Haru was a stepping stone for him. Haru was the one person he wanted to surpass. And with that victory, that's why he said, I don't need to get in the water with you anymore. I don't need to race you anymore. Because he did what he set out to do. He accomplished his goal. He surpassed the person he looked up to the person whose talent he looked up to. And as I mentioned, I definitely now think that this confirmed that the rest of this season is going to be rebuilding their relationship and going further in depth with their characters and how they connect to each other. If anything, this episode is telling us that that's what's important to this show. It's not actually about the swimming. It's about what these people, what these teenage boys, what they get from it and from each other, what it brings to them. It's not about the swimming itself. And yeah, this episode was definitely vastly important because of that. And honestly, I'd say it's probably the best episode yet. Because of what it meant, because of what it stood for, because of what it did for these characters. It's extremely important. And yeah, I mean, I have already been in love with this show, but this episode really took the cake for me. It really solidified my love for this show. Like it's not just this is a show that I really enjoy anymore. It's not that this is not just a show that I love anymore. It's like this is an anime. This is a show that I really love. That I really didn't expect to love this fucking much. That I didn't expect to get legitimately emotional over. To have to hold back tears multiple times in 1 week's video. To get so invested in these characters and their stories. Their struggles, their emotions. I didn't expect it. And I really just did not expect this to become that beloved of a show for me. And I really hope that the rest of these episodes this season doesn't ruin that for me. I hope seasons 2, 3, the movie, etc., don't ruin that for me. Because this is, at this point, this has become kind of special to me. And it's because I didn't expect it. When a show comes along that I don't expect to be this good, and it becomes this good, it means something to me. And I think that all started because of MLP. Because MLP, I did not expect to be good, pretty much good at all. And it surprised me in such a meaningful way. It saved my life from suicide and depression. And so now, whenever that happens again, whether it's an anime, a cartoon, a movie, a game, whenever I see something that I don't expect to be good, it ends up blowing me away like this. It means a lot. Because it makes me think back to MLP and how it saved my life. It makes me think back to the memories that made me, hell, check out a lot of these shows. I would not be as heavily into fan culture, whether it be anime, cartoons, etc., without MLP. That was a stepping stone for me, a massive stepping stone. I would not be into a lot of this stuff. I might have never checked out a lot of these shows if I hadn't gotten to MLP when I did. Hell, I mean, I technically might have never survived because of my depression and suicidal tendencies. Because prior to this, like, I watched anime, I watched cartoons, but never to a notable degree. It was because of how much I loved that I wanted to check others out. I mean, hell, before 2014, anime, it's just like, oh, I watched occasionally a couple shows. The summer of 2014 is when I really got into it. After having discovered MLP the previous fall. that was when I really got into it, when I really started checking out anime seasonally, something I had never done before. And I started to check out other shows, other cartoons. And it just kept building. So yeah, whenever I see a show like this, a show that I don't expect to be that good but ends up surprising me in such meaningful, powerful ways, to such a heavy degree, that I not only end up liking it, that I not only end up loving it, that I fall in love with it, that I adore it, that I care this much about these characters. It's important to me. And I'm not saying like this is going to be my favorite anime of all time. No. But it's going to be up there for me. It is legitimately going to be up there for me because it means a lot to me at this point. I deeply do care about these characters at this point. So it's going to be up there for me. It may not be top 3, it may not be top 5. I don't know where it's going to place right now. But it's up there. And I'm so happy about that. As I say all the time, I want any show I watch, any show I react to be that kind of show for me. I want shows to impress me. I want to love them. I want to adore them. I want them to be the best possible. So I'm so happy that this did surprise me. I'm so happy that this is this big of a deal for me at this point. A show I have known about for so many years and would have never been, probably never have been checking it out at all, if not for this channel, if not for, well, MLP as well, going back. A show I have heard people talk about. I've seen cosplays of, I've seen fan art, I've seen merchandise in vendor halls, and just never wanted to give it a shot because it just didn't seem like my thing. And now look at me. I adore it. I want to look up fan art so bad, but I'm afraid of seeing stuff from seasons 2 and 3 or the movie. I adore it. And I think that I think it's going to be a great ride for the rest of season 1 and the rest of the series. So tell me in the comments below what you thought of this episode of Free. And thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for voting on this. Because you guys chose for me to react to this. And I don't know if you guys believed or not that I would like this when you chose it. I don't know if you voted on it just because you wanted to see it, or just because you like the show, just because you wanted to see what I thought of it. I don't know if you guys thought that I would like it. But I'm so glad you voted on it. Because like I said, if you guys didn't vote on it, I might have never checked this out. I might have never gotten to see this show and gotten to fall in love with these characters. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to check this out and for allowing me to react to it. Because it means a lot that I get to share this experience with you guys. That I get to get emotional like I am right now. I'm actually tearing up right now. That I get to get emotional for you guys. I actually do love getting emotional on camera, believe it or not. Because it's, one, I love being open and honest about my feelings. I think it's important for anyone to do. And 2, it means that something that I'm watching with and for you is moving me. And I think that's important too, because it allows connections to build with this channel, which is something I strive for. I consider a lot of you my friends. Space Apples, Matthew Vasquez, Smurf. I consider a lot of you my friends. Cartoon Lounge, Too Old for Fandom. And it's because of getting to check out shows like this. With you guys. Having you guys vote on shows like this for me to watch. And just changing changing everything for me. So thank you. And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. If you want to check out any of my social media links and more, please check them out over to the side. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please leave those down below. In the meantime, though, thank you so much once again for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.